This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation Pop Experience. Welcome to today's edition of the movie review of the day. I am Andy Atherton, back with you here on a Friday, closing out another fun week here on the movie review series. And for today's selection, I am going back to the year 1987 to talk about one of my favorite films of all time. It is The Princess Bride. I love this movie. It is beloved by so many people. I was about 14, 15 years old when it came out. I thought it was hysterical at the time. Such a good story, fun, action, great comedy, incredible performances. It's just, I will gush about this movie over and over and over. So the logline of this fine film is a bedridden boy's grandfather reads him the story of a farm boy turned pirate who encounters numerous obstacles, enemies, and allies in his quest to be reunited with his true love. And it stars Cary Elwes, Mandy Patinkin, Robin Wright, Chris Sarandon, Christopher Guest, Wallace Shawn, Andre the Giant, Fred Savage, Peter Falk, Peter Cook, Mel Smith, Carol Kane, and Billy Crystal. There are other fine actors and actresses in this movie, but it's probably one of the most quotable movies of all time, I would think. Has some of the best characters you'll ever see. They did during COVID, when the pandemic was going on, people were bored and they couldn't do things. So a whole crap ton of stars did a kind of an abridged version of The Princess Bride. If you can look it up on YouTube, and it's really funny. It ends with the late great Carl Reiner in it. You know, obviously we just lost a director not that long ago, Rob Reiner, to an unfortunate, domestic murder issue with his son. I grew up with him as Meathead, as the actor, and he's also been really funny in a lot of other great roles. He's done so many great movies, and we are going to miss that guy. We already miss him. He just appeared on Life, Larry, and a Pursuit of Unhappiness, in an episode. So check that out. It was his last performance before he passed away. He took one last dig at our leader in that. So, all right. So this movie, it's about a grandfather coming over to visit his sick grandson, and he reads a novel to him while he's reluctantly listening, but the kid actually does get into it. And the kid is Fred Savage, the grandfather is Peter Falk. And they talk about Princess Buttercup, who is a young woman living on a farm in the Kingdom of Florin. Her farmhand Wesley, who she calls Farm Boy, always follows her order, only saying only as you wish. Buttercup eventually realizes his way of telling her he loves her. She soon falls in love with him, and Wesley leaves to seek his fortune overseas so they can marry. However, she is told his ship has been attacked by the dread pirate Roberts, who is known for not leaving survivors. We fast forward 5 years later. Buttercup is forcibly betrothed to Florin's arrogant Prince Humperdinck. But before the wedding, she is kidnapped by crafty Sicilian criminal Vizzini, played by Wallace Shawn, and gentle Turkish giant Fezzik, Andre the Giant, and expert Spanish swordsman Inigo Montoya, who is driven by revenge against his father's six-figured killer. A masked man in black pursues them across the sea, as do Humperdinck and his soldiers. So I love this group here, right? Because Wallace Shawn, a lot of people today probably know him best as the voice of Rex from the Toy Story movies, but he's been in so many great things, and he plays a nice evil villain who thinks he's the smartest guy no matter what setting he's in. I mean, he's got the great line. He says the word inconceivable all the time, and I love Inigo all the time. I don't really think you'll know what that word means. And you have Fezzik, the giant. I don't do a great Andre the Giant, so I'm not going to try to continue to do that. But, he has some of the best lines in the movie. Vizzini, have you heard of Socrates, Plato, Aristotle? Yeah, morons. Never getting into a contest with a Sicilian when death is on the line. So Um, and then the sword fight between Inigo and the Man in Black is really great, and they have some great lines in there. Um, I see you using Benet's defense against me. I consider it apropos with the rocky terrain, but I have something to tell you. I am not left-handed. I have something to tell you as well. I am not left-handed either. So it's a great sword fight. Then we have, he ends up fighting Fezzik, and he chokes him unconscious. And then he kills Vicini by tricking him into drinking poison wine. He then takes Buttercup and flees ahead of Humperdinck's party. She correctly guesses he is Dread Pirate Roberts, rebukes him for killing Wesley, and shoves him down a steep hill. While tumbling down, he shouts, "As you wish," realizing that he is Wesley. Buttercup tumbles after him, and they are reunited. Then they make their way through the dangerous fire swamp, and they go. And this is the one part of the movie I hate because this is terrifying to me. The rodents of unnormal size, natural size, whatever, these giant rats. And they are just vicious. I mean, and Wesley ends up killing them, but they are just nasty. Oh my God. And so he ends up getting captured after they escape the fire swamp. They capture both of them. And Buttercup agrees to return with Humperdinck after he promises to release Wesley. He then secretly orders his henchman, Count Rugen, who's actually the six-fingered man, to take him to his torture chamber, the pit of despair. Wesley, who immediately understands he will not be free, notices Rugen has 6 fingers on his hand before he's knocked out. So, like I just said, Buttercup, knowing Wesley is alive, threatens to kill herself if Humperdinck forces her to marry him. He falsely promises to find Wesley. He soon reveals his real plan. He wishes to start a war with neighboring country Gilder by killing Buttercup and framing them for it. Humperdinck had secretly hired Vicini to kill her to this end, but Wesley interfered. Fezzik, now as part of the Brute Squad, is ordered to clear the thieves' forest before the wedding. Finding a drunk Inigo in the forest, he sobers him up, telling him about Rugen. Inigo, knowing neither he nor Fezzik can devise a plan, realizing they need Wesley's help to storm the castle. So when Buttercup discovers Humperdinck did not search for Wesley, he calls him a coward. Enraged, he imprisons her and tortures Wesley to near death. Inigo and Fezzik follow Wesley's screams to a pit and take his body to Miracle Max, a folk healer who Humperdinck recently fired. Billy Crystal as Miracle Max, one of his best performances. He's there. He's only in the movie for a very short period of time. Carol Kane plays his wife in a great supporting role, but hello, Schwiegens! Hey, there's nothing, true love, there's nothing better in life except for a nice MLT, a mutton, lettuce, and tomato. When the tomato is nice and lean and it's so fresh and perky, I love that. He said to Blave, and don't go on swimmings for a half an hour. Billy Crystal just does so good. He's like, "Who are you?" "I'm with the Brute Squad." "You are the Brute Squad." Just the one-liners are incredible here. He's mostly dead, by the way. So he ends up bringing Inigo promises that Wesley will humiliate Humperdinck and ruin his wedding if Max and his wife revive him, which gets Max to do it because he wasn't going to do it because he was, feeling down about himself. However, Wesley is so severely weakened he needs to be carried. The three then enter the castle during the wedding. Inigo confronts Rugen, who flees and then stabs Inigo in an ambush, taunting his obsession, where he keeps repeating his line, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You'll kill my father. Prepare to die." And he then braves his injuries and kills Rugen. Wesley then locates Buttercup before she commits suicide and assures her that the marriage is invalid, as she never said "I do." Humperdinck finds them and challenges Wesley to a duel, but is intimidated into surrendering. Inigo finds Wesley and Buttercup, and Fezzik procures 4 horses for their escape. When Inigo is unsure what to do with his life, Wesley offers him the Dread Pirate Roberts title. As dawn breaks, they reunite. Wesley and Buttercup share a passionate kiss. So then we get to the end, and we go back to the, our grandpa and grandson. The sick grandson eagerly asks his grandfather to read the story again. The next day, his grandfather replies, "As you wish." So this is just a wonderful story. I mean, it's one of those movies that I think you should show your kids when they reach a certain age to understand things like, if they're a little young, maybe like, 9, 10 years old is probably the perfect age to watch The Princess Bride, I would think, because I think about that's the age that Fred Savage's character is in the movie. So I think that it will translate to them a little bit better. But it's probably one of the most endearing and enduring, movies of the last, 40 years, I would say, because, I don't know anybody that doesn't like The Princess Bride. because I love the movie. It's a movie that I do like to watch, at least once a year. I like to, check that out. And it's so fun. That's all there is to it. It is a fun story. It's an adventure, comedy, everything you can ask for. So I highly recommend it. Okay, so that brings an end to today's and this week. So with and this is dropping on the 31st. So as you hearing this, will have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is the latest MCU edition, latest Spider-Man movie. So I will be reviewing that for you for next week. And also, though, with a new Spider-Man film, we are going to go back to review other Spider-Man films. So we will have 4 other selections from the Spider-Man. There's a bit more than 4, but we'll have 4 for you to talk about next week because we love the character. It's one of my son's favorite characters. My daughter still has a big crush on Tom Holland. It's Spider-Man's a big property here in the house, and this, we're really looking forward to this because it's been a bit since we've had a new Spider-Man film. So looking forward to it. Also, please check out everything else we got going on here on the PlayStation Pop Experience. Check out our other daily podcast series, the Video Jukebox Song of the Day, that drops every weekday at 8 a.m. Plus, we have various other long-form podcasts that will come to you, on a regular basis. Also, please support our friends at the PlayStation Wrestling Network, the Backbone Wrestling Network, and the North-South Connection, all our podcast feeds and YouTube channels. Okay, so I hope you all had a great week and have an even better weekend. See you back here on Monday.